See, it says it's recording, so we'll go from there. This is Roddy Radio, episode number 9. Roddy Radio is a subsidiary of Roddy TV, which is just, all that means is it's a podcast because everybody wanted to hear my voice in English. And it's very difficult for me to speak English because it's my second language. I have a terrible accent. But we do what we can, and here we are, episode number 9. We're with a couple of real special guests. A guest that you may, if you do know Spanish and you've heard Out That Ed podcast, she's been on a few of those. My good friend Darlene, and we're finally meeting her husband tonight. After many, I've heard a lot about you now. So we got Fred here with us tonight also, and you guys are, well, you just got back from Europe. Where were you in Europe?
Just got back from Vienna.
Vienna,
Austria.
Jesus, man, you guys are world travelers, and I never, I hardly ever leave Idaho. But so you're a football coach out there. We've go ahead and let people know what exactly you do out there. American football coach in Europe.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's about my 15th year being in Europe coaching, and they have professional leagues out there. Our sport has went from the United States to Japan, China. It's everywhere. Wow. So it's a nice platform. It's probably pretty much like Division III football on the college level. And it's a lot of fun, man. It's get a certain amount of Americans, just like you do in Canada. You get a certain amount of American players, and then the rest are Canadians. So it's set up the same way there.
Okay. That's really cool. That's and I imagine you played football here when you were in the States, like growing up.
Yeah, I did. I played at Scotch Plains High School in New Jersey, and then Towson State in Maryland, and then I went out to Europe and played in 1991, and from there, I just really enjoyed the lifestyle of coming back and forth, So yeah, I mean it's great, man. The game is just traveled and. It's been a lot of fun. I got to see the rest of the world through football, Coming here, I had Bonneville High School when I first came here. That's how I met Darlene. Was coaching here. So that was a good experience for me, too. I had never did high school. So that was interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, what, just because they're so much younger and...
Yeah, I think, you get... You get what you get, and you got to coach it up.
Yeah,
where in these other experiences, you got to draft or you get things. So it really brings the best part of you.
Yeah, people are paying for you in college, so here it's like
pretty much anybody gets it.
Yeah, kids pay to play, and excuse me, it was pretty interesting to do that, but it was fun, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that with anything, once you get into those college levels and pro levels especially, it's like, yeah, those are skilled people that are there because people want them there, not just to be there, not to fill a spot. And actually, before we get too into this, you got us a couple shots there.
Yes. Of course. When do I not come with gifts?
For real,
Roddy,
you've been on the show
I think that's
times,
why you invite me. It's
because I know you always bring something. The only show you've been on with me that we didn't do shots was Chicanos in Cars because you can't drink and drive.
Oh, that's right. But we did, and we didn't even drink at the restaurant.
No,
I don't think.
I think we just got.
I saw the taco episode.
That's what we were
really,
about.
really good.
That was a really fun project. But.
And I wish you wouldn't have stopped. Why don't we get back to doing that?
I should start doing that. And now's the time to do it because you know what? And I've heard this before. Like they say, comedy's best done when it's cold, like when it's hot. We tried doing some in the summertime, and they just do not flow. Like it's too hot, and we can't have the AC on because it fucks up the audio. So, but the winter, I did all those in the winter, but then 2020 is what killed it, like the
of course.
pandemic.
Yeah.
But it's like we should get back to it now.
And we can now. And now, I will say this, just I feel like there's so many more restaurants here now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Even just in the last handful of years.
Yeah.
That was, when was that? Maybe 4 or 5 years ago that I did that?
We were talking about it. I thought it was longer ago than
No,
that.
it's about 4.
It was about 4. You know the only reason I know it was about 4? It's going on 5 because in one episode, me and Oscar are talking about World Cup.
Oh, there you go.
And so
it
that
would
was
have to have been 4 years ago. Huh?
Yeah.
Well, here you go, gentlemen.
What's this one?
Cheers into. Okay,
Lemon
I'm drinking.
flavored.
I'm doing Mandarin.
Absolute lime.
Here we go.
Good old
Cheers
Sweden.
Cheers into your health. Oh, yeah, this is the sweet. This is from Sweden, huh?
Swedish drink.
Oh, wow.
Well.
Vodka's good. I like vodka.
I almost feel like when it comes to light, like clear drinks, vodka is definitely my vibe.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a good mixing agent as well for whatever.
Yeah, vodka with cranberry juice, vodka with Red Bull.
Vodka with soda water.
Vodka Red Bull is... Oof.
Is that your drink or what?
No, not at all.
Actually, if you could describe yourself in a drink, that's actually a good thing. What is like, if you could describe yourself as like a mixed drink, what would it be?
I'm a Long Island iced tea.
Oh, please. Okay.
Because you're so strong and...
Just said that Long Island iced tea.
You get one drink and one and done.
That's it, man. That's it.
Shit. That is a good one.
Which one would you be, darling?
Gosh, I don't know. I'm not much of like a cocktail drinker, so I wish I knew more about like exotic drinks, right? Like whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty bland when it comes to drinks. I do. I'm a vodka soda water with lime. That's
plain.
pretty like my go-to. I'm not super fancy. I went through a phase though when all I drank was red beers. Cheladas? Oh my god.
So did I.
So gross. I hate all that stuff.
Oh my gosh.
I was dating a girl a million years ago who had like, she was famous for her parents owned a restaurant, and she had the fame that she made like the best micheladas in town. And I'm like, well, that's neither here or there for me because I don't like them. So I'm like, everyone's like, oh, that's
Like, oh, you're so light. Oh, you're like, okay.
Oh. She could, but yeah. I don't
Okay, question. So what it is about it? Is it the tomato mixed
yeah,
with the beer?
What
It's
it
like
feels like to me, it's because I like beer. Like, so it's like, it feels to me like it tastes like what my puke tastes like after I get really drunk on beer and I puke it out. And I puke out the McDonald's. It's like, it's that ketchupy McDonald's mixed with the beer.
Okay, you know what? I am going to sympathize with what you're saying, only because.
Patrico, that was heavy. But...
Oh, welcome to Roddy, the life of Roddiness. This is like.
That's light. Yeah,
That's like nothing. Oh, babe, you don't even know what you're in for. I told him. I was like, just go with it. That's all you got to do. Just go with it. No, I will say that I sympathize with you on that only because of Fred, I learned more about microbrews and different beers and learned to really appreciate like the taste of stuff. Where before it was like, all I drank was Bud Light. You know what I'm saying?
You were
I was
telling
never
me about
exposed.
that last time when we went out after the podcast with Ricky and Oscar.
Yeah.
And you were like telling us all about the different beers, and I was like, oh.
I would never have known that if it wasn't for Fred.
I'm not like, my beers are like, I'll either drink Modelo or my favorite is Heineken. But
Heineken's legit, man.
You like Heineken?
I've drank.
But it's also
Heineken
just the pills. It's also just like
but it's really good.
It's really, really good.
Well, a lot of.
I try not to say that though. I try to just tell people I like Modelo because I don't want to get canceled like that Yadira girl. You know?
No,
How
what?
she said like her favorite like chicken to Washington was the best.
Oh, that's right.
Food and like the best Mexican food is in Washington. She said all this shit and everybody hated her forever about it.
Oh, for sure.
Wow.
So I'm like, if I go around saying Heineken's my favorite beer, I'm gonna get canceled. I have to say it's Modelo.
No, or you're officially cool with the other people.
Where's the Modelo dollars?
Yeah.
All right. Then you can.
Then I'll push it like.
There you
push
go.
it like
Let's
Modelo.
get real here.
Or the absolute, the vodka.
Yeah. Another thing. That's another thing. Just because of the culture that Fred has exposed me to, I didn't know anything about vodkas and the purity of them or wines. Jesus, I had no idea that
They all every type of alcohol, every type of spirit has its thing.
Yeah.
You have to know what you're drinking.
Exactly.
Which is I don't know, if I had to be a drink, I think it'd be it'd have to be like a mix between, because I always just order like a Jameson on the rocks.
Oh, well,
But that's like
classy. That's a
But I also like
gentleman's drink.
But I also like a Cosmo, you know, like a real girly drink.
You're like, can you give it to can you give it to me in a glass and not in a martini cup?
Just something, but like a mix between both. Like I have this really rough exterior, but then it's like, but I also like to go do some bougie ass shit. Like,
yeah, why not though? I love that you could admit that.
The second one I went to is called like a bullet and ginger ale, man.
yeah.
What is that?
That's what our boy Doc Murphy drinks. Man.
Oh.
So it's a bourbon with ginger ale, but it's called Bullet bourbon, man. It's really like good on the rocks.
Okay.
Yeah, the last time I was with Dr. Murphy, this amazing doctor that we know, we went to a restaurant, and I'm gonna tell you what, I had some fancy beers lit on fire and fancy beer stuff like lit on fire, and so I'm like, what the hell is this? $32 a drink? Oh my god! The poor me from Roberts, Idaho was still scared.
You weren't wanting to pay the.
Oh no, I wasn't paying, but I still was like.
But you watched that, yeah, and I think that's all that is from Roberts and from upbringing. If you're always looking at the price like that, even if you can well afford something, you're still like, fuck, that's a lot of money.
We butt heads so much when it comes to money. Maybe because we just do. Because I am very poor mentality, and when it comes to how I want to spend money and things, he's just like, money comes and goes. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, but.
Yeah.
So it's actually been good for me though, just because. It's
probably experience more that way.
That's what I'm telling you, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, right now, the way the economy is going and things are happening, everybody needs to be tight on their dollars, man.
Yeah,
it's like, I could not believe coming home. I've been home now 4 days. We went shopping. And when we were done shopping, I looked in the cart and compared to what we bought in the cart and what it cost. I was like, what the hell happened? Yeah. And that's going to, Walmart or Winco. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, what the hell has happened? The inflation has just went.
Just in a very short amount of time. It's very different.
It's really
different. A huge culture shock when we go from there to here.
Yeah.
Just is everything a lot more affordable in Europe?
I find it a lot more affordable. I do. I also find it obviously it's a lot healthier, man.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of stuff is just echo. It's already ready. The conditions on meat, chicken, different things.
The regulations are
regulations
very
are extremely strict.
Yeah.
I mean, there's stuff that they won't let go into the country that we are giving, especially like the dyes that we.
I was gonna say I've heard recently like the Skittles, how they have Skittles candies out in Europe that don't have the same dyes that are cancerous that they do.
So
here.
it's crazy because every time before we go to Europe, Fred always asks our American players or our American friends in Europe, hey, what do you want us to bring you? And you know what it is? Spicy Cheetos, Skittles. Even though they can get stuff like that there, it's just not the same because it's so overprocessed and so, you know what I mean? Really, even like the ketchup there is pretty bland compared to what we have, but we don't have all the crap or whatever. Mm-hmm. Another point, though, I was just going to say about things being more affordable. You want to know why I think things are more affordable in Europe for people? Because guess what? They have their education and their healthcare paid for. Okay. So when all you have to spend is rent and your cost of living. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I've thought about that a lot of times. I'm like, if I didn't have these ancient debts, I make plenty of money if all I had to pay is rent and groceries.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, the lifestyles are different. I mean, every system is how it is. I mean, at the end of the day, we live in the most freest world and country you can be in, right? Yeah. But
it's kind of a trade-off.
But at the when you live over there and you see how everything is bundled up with the healthcare and the good eating of food and education, and I mean, the difference in tax is maybe 7-8%. To get all of that, right? Where here, we can't, you got to be a certain way to get this or that. Healthcare has to do in this bracket. And, I mean, what they're about is that they're about keeping their people healthy and educated. Well, we're not doing that here. We've never done that here because then we take out a sector of where the money is, right? The health insurance, getting sick
Big
is
farm.
keeping things people rich, So some of the philosophies, man, are tough to deal with when you deal with both, But it is different now than it was maybe 10 years ago. 10 years ago, people loved our passport.
Oh yeah.
Right now, people are not digging our passport. It's a lot different. It's a lot of pushback toward our country. With a lot of things that are happening, so
And that's when it gets scary living over here as far as like terrorist attacks and that kind of shit. People start to hate the country. That's when you're setting yourself up for something like that again.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, man, just like the other day here with this shooting in Vegas. I mean, what are we doing? You know, I mean, how many more shootings do we need to change the guns? You don't see that over there in Europe.
I was just gonna ask.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Nobody's walking around with a big old pistol on their hip.
No. And you just don't see that. I think you had something happen in Norway like 5 years ago, which was like first time some big type of thing happened. You have even in the UK, the cops don't even walk around with guns.
Oh, they don't?
No, they walk around with billy clubs. Now they hit you with that billy club, but they're not walking around with guns. You have special police that do that, So man, it's tough. I watch and live in both places, and it's one thing when I try to tell Darlene, we just take the best out of both worlds for our family. Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do nowadays. I think is just be a little bit selfish about that kind of stuff and just do what you can to, like you said, get the best from what your situation is.
And at the end of the day, we are American, and we are proud to be American. Absolutely. And we love who we are. And I mean, we have a flag in our kitchen. You know what I mean? Like, we are proud of who we are, but we still see the benefit of our lifestyle of being half there and half here, and we have to go with it.
And I feel like I'm sure you guys, ever since having this type of lifestyle, I'm sure you're a lot more open-minded than before this lifestyle.
No doubt.
He's always been. I feel like he's always been. He's educated me and opened my eyes to a lot of different things. I felt like I was very closed off and very simple-minded in a lot of things, and because of the exposure I've had through travel and through life experiences that we've had outside of the U.S. and outside of my comfort zone, my little bubble, it's definitely been good. It's been great for the kids. Oh my gosh.
I think it's been extremely, good for the kids. Me being an educator.
By trade,
By trade, and seeing what's happening with education. Hey, I'd rather take my daughter 5-6 months over in Europe. She'll learn more there than she's doing in the school right now.
Whole 9
Hey,
months
man, you know what I mean?
They don't really teach them much. It's like a baby. It's like a.
And I have to tell you,
it's changed.
Well,
man,
I've been sub-teaching. And I actually feel really bad for the teachers because it's not that they don't want to teach. I see the passion that our educators, especially in Idaho Falls, District 91 is where I've been sub-teaching, so I can't speak for any other district, but I'm sure it's the same. I see that these teachers do love these kids. I see that they really want to, but they're limited by something else that governs them. Okay. You know what I mean? They don't have a real choice of how they can teach you. They're like the way we learn math, for example. It's not how it was when we can. And they can't, and they're not allowed to. Do you get what I'm saying?
They can't teach them any different way than
exactly. So
if they have a more beneficial way or something that they know their students are going to grasp onto easier, they can't teach that.
See, the school in Europe is a lot more pedagogic. It's different, man. Mm-hmm. Those kids are going to school on a half a day on a Saturday.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
all year they get 1 month off here. And
yeah, I mean, they get their holidays and so on, but the educational system is no joke, especially in places like, Vienna, Austria, and also Germany, Sweden, Finland. These places, the education is first and foremost.
And something I've noticed here is that nobody gets held back anymore. Everyone just gets passed because they don't have room to hold kids back.
Well, no. There was a president that did that, though. And this is going to be wrong. That's what was a Bush. Yeah, the no kid left behind.
Because I notice everybody graduates now, but nobody knows the stuff we used to have to know to graduate.
Okay, but no, I'm going to tell you something though. And babe, this is so true with this. We had to advocate. Mm-hmm. Our daughter, we advocated for her to do kindergarten 2 years.
Oh yeah.
They didn't want to let us. We had to go to meetings. Absolutely. And we had to beg, basically, and was like, listen, we don't want our daughter to move on to first grade. She couldn't hear. She's barely got these hearing aids. She's barely getting these tools that she can learn with.
That are going to help her learn.
And if it wasn't for the principal who was like, he fought for us too and was like, we have to listen to the parent. When do we not listen to the parent? So I do believe that if we as a parents or even educators were able to maybe help more in the system, I don't know, because I don't feel like teachers are really the problem. I feel like it comes from higher up from them.
Sure. I mean, it's the world is in a different space. When you went to high school, Darlene went to high school, I went to high school. What we're talking about now is that education, it means a lot of different things. You could, when I talk about somebody getting an education, it's, well, maybe you're going to go and be a hairdresser or you're going to be an electrician. Well, you know what? Get the education you need to do that, because that trade you can make a living with. Darlene knows I wrote a paper on how education is for everybody, but college is not. And you have to understand within the society where you fit or where that skill set can be.
No, and not that one's any better than the other.
Right.
We need every player.
Because there's people who are going to be doctors and lawyers and those highly skilled 4-year, 6-year, 8-year type of going to school to learn that trade, where the other one is, it could be a 2-year thing, right? And we call it career technical education, where you can go ahead and now you're a plumber or you're a welder,
an electrician,
and you've got a trade that you can make money with. And see, I think this is the balance that people have to really find, because going to school is expensive.
Yeah.
So this community college that we got here, this Eastern Idaho thing, I thought this was one of the smartest things to come into the community, because it's giving you that opportunity to learn something still in a 2-year period. Now you got to put some work in. Nobody's handing anything out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Doing,
right? But once you get that, the world opens up for you in a lot of different ways. So, this is what I'm hoping continues, that, people continue to do. And a lot of our brown and black people, this is what they need to do. Mm-hmm. They need to get into those trades. They need to, because a lot of families don't have the money to push them through, take all those loans. But there is an avenue through those community colleges where if you get set up right, you can learn a trade, and you can go ahead, dental hygienists. They have everything at that place for you to be successful.
Yeah, which is, and it's great when they're, I know, like, they help each other out too, because I have a friend who's a dental hygienist, and she was going to ISU, but she did half of her training stuff here in Idaho Falls. So it's like you said, the tools are there. And if you find something you're good at, you click at, why not?
Well, and I also feel like there's there shouldn't be any shame or embarrassment or taboo that you can't talk about. No fuiste al colegio, mijo. You know what I mean? You didn't go to the university, you're a failure. No. There needs to be something that says that this is a successful way to take care of yourself. You know what I mean? Learning a trade.
I think a lot that was big when I was younger. When I was like in high school, it was like it's college or bust. Right. It's like you're a fucking loser if you're not going to college.
That's wrong.
Look at the loser that went to the community college, or look at the loser that went and learned how to weld. And it's like, no, man, it's all good.
Yeah. It's all good right now. That's what you want to do. And most of the time, any of those careers, once you get into them, if you need the extra years, then you can go ahead and that company will go ahead and pay for it, or you could pay for it yourself. Yeah. Even the business degrees now. I mean, if you go 2 years, you understand the accounting and the different things. I was a business teacher at the high school at Bonneville. Okay. So, I mean, if you get into the right cluster, it can work out for you.
Yeah. How much is substitute pay right now?
Can I tell you something? I got really lucky. Yeah. I got super, super lucky. But if you do not have to have, I mean, if you have an associate's or any type of college, any type of college, you don't have to be certified. I'm not a certified teacher.
No, but if you have college, you can.
You make anywhere around $15 an hour, but you're sub teaching. But the minimum they pay you is, I believe, almost $12 to sub teach.
Okay.
So for someone like me who, I work my job that I've done for almost 20 years now with Dr. White.
Yeah.
And then on the days that I maybe have a day to spare here and there, guess what? I sub-teach.
Yeah.
And there's always people who need sub-teachers. And it has been lucrative. I will not say. My first check that I got, Didn't I? I was like, honey, I almost want to cry. I'm like, what is this? If you sub more than 10 days, you get hundreds of dollars of bonuses.
Oh, wow.
So imagine you sub 15 days a month. It is so much money. And this is why I've gained more appreciation for teachers in our community, just because I've gone into classrooms and I've seen the work that they put in to, keep their kids on task while they haven't been there. It's not pop on a movie while I'm gone. Oh, no. This is my lesson plan. Please follow it. And I do the best that I can to,
It works both ways, man. There's great educators out there.
Yeah.
There's not just people going there to go get a check.
Yeah.
There's people who really care about their students.
That want to see those students.
That want to see them do well, And we need to be real. Without some type of higher education, you're not going to move yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that's why that transition from the high school to the community college, which is near us, can give you the opportunity to do something else later, And the subbing has been great. Darlene knows I used to sub all the way in West Jeff.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
all the way
I used
up there.
to do the West Jeff, so I'd see a lot of the youngsters from Roberts also, talking with them and
I got nothing on you. I was subbing at the jail.
She did the jail. Yeah, she did the jail.
And I had a mental breakdown the first week.
Working at a jail, I always thought would be tough. Like even just being
gosh.
like those
The
cops
young
that have to
kids,
sit in the
this
dark.
is
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's an experience.
It was so hard for me. I got a call from a lady who's like, "Look, I'm going into surgery. I need a long-term person to come out here to 3B detention, and please." Okay, I didn't know what I was getting. I came home that first day. I was crying, and I'm like, I can't do this. Like, there's no way.
It's true.
Like, there's no way. I'm such an empath. Like, I was feeling so many emotions, and I was calling my son. I'm like, Diamond, you are a great kid. If I've never told you that you weren't a great kid, you are amazing. And then I'm like telling everybody, tell your kids that they are amazing, that they're great. Because
what are those kids usually in there for? Like fighting and shit, stealing. Shit?
I'm not going to say, I will just say this. I will say that there was kids as young as 10, kids all the way up to 17, from every single thing under the sun. Wow. I'm talking severe crimes, like severe crimes that I didn't even think a 10-year-old could commit, all the way to someone got bullied and fought back. And their parents didn't have a lawyer, and the other kid did.
Oh wow!
Do you know what I mean? I've seen all full spectrum.
Which is rough for those kids that have to. I mean, that's how people get hardened and tough.
Oh yeah, no, they're the ones that cry all day that they're in there and they don't understand, and they have to attend school, and then we as teachers there, like I didn't even know that this. You better know a little bit about everything, because you don't have computers, you don't have proper textbooks. And you have to make sure that they do all their schoolwork. And it's like, oh, Lord Jesus, what am I doing?
Hey, man, it's always coming down to parenting to a certain degree, right? I mean, I had great parents, but I still did some stupid shit.
Yeah.
Right? But I still had that thing in the back of my head where I was trained enough by my parents, like, yo, don't cross that line. Because you cross that one, it's not going to be
the end
good.
of the line, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'll play devil's advocate though.
And that's what's happening with a lot of I think girls and boys at this age now.
Honey, I will play devil's advocate, honey. Some people should not have been parents. And I've seen it. And I've seen it with some of these kids who don't have a choice.
No, I understand.
They're up in there.
That's what I was basically
And I look
saying.
at their history and stuff, and there was no parenting, babe.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you meant you know what I mean? I was like, wait a second, don't put it
no.
all on them, because some of these kids didn't
those-
have a choice, you know?
No,
I mean,
these are not older kids.
Even if we have good parenting and a good home and stuff, we can still fuck up.
Yeah.
no, for sure. Dude, straight up, man.
That's what
But
I would say.
there is definitely limits. I mean,
Yeah, and it is, and I think that's still the key.
I mean, you can commit crimes and still be an inherently good person.
Sure.
Oh, sure.
I mean, that's how I feel like. I mean,
Sure.
even at my house,
Absolutely.
like me and my brother both have our criminal records, and it's like I don't feel like either of us are really that evil. Like, we just fucked around a lot when we were younger.
Oh, Freddie has his story.
No, I mean, exactly. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say is that at this point in time, though, where we're at in this stage, you're starting to see a lot of the youngsters not having that parenting.
Yeah.
And it's getting worse and worse.
It's tough.
Yeah, and then the school becomes, as you said, the babysitter instead of the educator, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it feels like to me right now. Is
Right.
like school is a lot of people just
Mentioned it.
like just school is just somewhere to send their kids while I'm at work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't care if if they pass. They don't care if they. I guess they care if they pass. They want them to pass. They want them to finish, but they don't care if they learn.
Well, two mentalities to that, and I've been under that microscope with both. Is that, well, the parent is saying, I'm sending the kid to school so you can educate.
Yeah,
him.
that's your job.
That's your job. You educate my kid, okay? Which is correct, okay? The piece that they're not understanding is through the structure, this person still needs to be able to learn something at home.
Yeah.
And then you have some parents where they just didn't have any of that. They're sending their kids to school because they couldn't go to school, you know. So it's a tough environment. But I've seen a lot of young kids, and like I said, man, brown and black young kids, girls and boys, that have that problem maybe within the family, but they still stay with it and they do a good job and they move forward. You know, they don't use any excuses for that.
Regardless of
their that
environment
situation.
or whatever it is.
They're in there, they go ahead, they learn, and they know that they're going to make it better. And there's a lot of young ones who do well.
Yeah.
I believe that.
And there is, and especially here. And where did you say you were brought up?
I'm brought up in New Jersey, Scotch Plains, about 20 minutes to New York City.
And it's a big difference now. I mean, and I've talked about it on this show before, and just the world of difference that it is for, when I was in school, it was just the white kids were the ones that were making stuff happen. All of us, we all, I told my friend Nancy, who was out there not long ago, I was like, when we were in school, all we did was get jobs and get into trouble. There was no after school shit for us to do. And now you're seeing that, and there's a lot more, not just Mexican kids anymore. There's a lot of black kids in school. There's
oh my gosh,
big integration.
Oh,
now.
I just did an event last Wednesday at CEI here in their nursing program. I had more Latin students than of any other race, and I have to tell you that. I'm not saying it was bad, but it did do something in me where I was like, "Échale ganas!" I'm talking to them in Spanish. I'm like, "Échale ganas, you guys can do it. You can do anything," and it made me feel so proud just because I'm like, "Yes," and and they were on scholarship. They were getting scholarships. They were getting FAFSA. They were, do you know what I mean? Their grades had got them there, and it made me so proud.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 20 minutes from New York City, where I grew up, man. We see everything, every culture, right? If I wanted to deal with my boys from Ireland, I'd go down to the Irish corner, right? If I wanted to deal with my boys in Spanish Harlem, I'd go down there, Yeah. We were always culturally looking at things because of two things, music and food.
Yeah, which is, it's a strong point.
That's the strong point that used to bring us together to kind of see each other's cultures, But when I came here, this was a total culture shock for me.
Yeah.
Because even Europe felt more integrated than...
And I think we tend to think of Europe as very much like each country has their color.
No, and it was weird. When I came here 2012, now I've seen the difference now from 2012.
When I was in high school, there was one black kid that came to school, and it was a novelty. I don't think he got any blatant racism, but we were all staring at him. There's a lot of us that had never even seen a black person until that point. So
I was the first African American
head coach in the history of the state
in Idaho in any level from 2012.
Insane.
It was insane. I did not understand that. Okay, so am I supposed to be proud of that, or is there something wrong? That was my reaction to it. You know what I mean? And then talking to some of the coaches of color who were telling me some of their stories and what they went through, and how they were being held back for different reasons. I was like, hold it, man. You know, that's not going to happen on my watch, you know. So it's one of those things for me in my lifetime that I've dealt with that I'm very conscious of is how people treat each other, you know, and you always find it within our own problems. You get brown on brown crime, black on black crime. That's what I call.
It's always,
that's what
it's
I
always
call
like
it,
your
you
own.
know?
It's always your family.
It's
your
like
people.
you know why. You know, I mean, wake up and try to help each other out. You know, but the society, to some degree, has pushed you to that point. But again, there has to be some self-discipline on why do I need to do that to my own of all people. You know,
if anyone, it's even less.
Yes, absolutely. And I think when we can get back to that, I think things for everybody's community gets better. But you know, the profession I'm in, it's a dog profession. You know, I mean, being a black head coach, there's not many jobs in general. And if you look at it in the NFL, there's only 6 guys. So the other guys are eating each other up to go get those jobs, you know. And I think that's what I'm trying to say, how, you know, systematically there's issues in every form that we're dealing with where people try to say there's not. And what I always tell people, I have great white friends. I have great friends from all over the world. The problem is you'll never be able to see through my lens because you're not me. And that's hard for them because they deal off of what they heard or what they've seen, and then it's their opinion. But listen, you're not looking through my lens. I've looked through this lens for a lot of years. I know what's happening. And then they stand and sit back and then they go, man, you're right. I don't know what that would be like.
If we really talk about it, honey, you brought up a good point. Every time that we've been in Europe and we've been invited to homes for dinners, we've always come to these type of conversations where they ask us deep questions about how we were raised, have we ever felt certain ways. And I appreciate that people want to know. You know, there was a big thing, right, with the Black Lives Matter. People like, how do you be an ally? You don't have to donate to some cause to be an ally. Mm-hmm. Educate yourself. Talk to your brown and black, you know, community members. Just get to know them. That's how you can help. Yeah. It's not about, I gave $10 to this thing or I gave this.
That's when you're going to realize that they're people.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Regular old people like
absolutely, 100%.
We sat down with a good friend of mine in Leipzig, Germany. Okay, so Leipzig, Germany is close to the Polish and also Russian border. And they were in East Germany closed off till 1986. Can you believe that? Like 1986, they had to stay within wires. They couldn't go west. They couldn't go anywhere to the wall. The Berlin Wall went down. So they had to live like that. And I said to myself, wow, you know, like...
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's like to think like if you could never leave your hometown.
It was amazing the stories they would tell us.
And they still have animosity.
You know, yeah. And then the funny thing happened is when it did open up, all the problems occurred. Before, when it was closed off, they were good.
Harmony.
Right. Soon as it opened up, all of a sudden now different nationalities are coming in here and there's problems with our women. There's problems with the education. But before, you know, so just it's like modern day, man. We're talking 1986. We're not talking, you know, back in the day. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was amazing to hear how their day was. And if they went to a certain section, they'd get shot at.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, walking around with Darlene, like, check this out, man. Look at this place, like, you know.
That's something you think of here maybe 100 years ago, but not.
Right. It's 1986.
Not 30 years ago, yeah.
That's all it was.
It's not 30 years ago. It's so many more years. When you told me that the 80s, I'm like, it's like saying the 80s were 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
No, they were not.
That's how you feel. That's how it feels.
That's mentally.
It's mentally because we a lot of us got stuck in like the year 2000.
Oh gosh.
It's like, my parents were like around in the 70s, so that was like 30 years ago. Like,
Exactly right. No, it's not.
And I encourage people to, I mean, like I said, there's nothing like where we live. I still, to this day, believe that. But it's nice to, when I first got a passport, I think I was like in the first like 25 percentile of people to ever have a passport from the U.S. to go and travel. Okay. And I think the more people go outside of their comfort zone or what they're used to and being able to hug somebody else's, culture, even if it's for 2 weeks, whatever it might be, right? You'll go to certain places where for instance, in Paris, you think they talk great English. No, they don't care if you come over on the plane. They expect you to talk to them in French. It's just what it is, right? That's just the mentality, right? You go to different places and you see the cultures and you experience it. You've experienced something different, even if it's for 2 weeks. It has an impact on you because you're not used to that. You're used to what you do all the time. And that's why Europeans travel over to us also.
Yeah.
They're like, it's still America.
Oh, geez,
it's still the United States of America,
we're in
no
Germany,
matter how you slice it.
Oh man, you're American. Oh yeah, Tupac, Biggie. No, I'm serious. Like they vibe
awesome.
They love American culture. They do. They want the American fashion. They want the style. They want the music. Oh my God, everything is. They spend money. What was that when we were in Leipzig? That they save all year to go spend 1 week in LA,
right?
To go to raves.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
To go rave.
My locker room in Vienna is straight up hip hop.
Oh.
The whole locker room.
Always.
That's
or
80s
rock.
Playing. You know what I mean?
80s rock seems to be like a big one.
The real super American stuff.
They're not
the stuff they play on the 4th of July.
There you go.
In my locker room, man, I can walk up in there and I'm like, wow, yeah. These guys, and it's just pretty interesting to see how all the the cultures of music, different things have like went through those countries. Okay, you will always find. We did it in Sweden. We found it in Leipzig. We found it in where we're at in Vienna. You'll always find Latin food or a Latin restaurant everywhere. Okay.
It's not as good as my cooking.
It's not as good as your cooking, but no. But here's the funny thing: they're Latin, So you're wondering their story.
Yeah, how the hell did you end up here?
Like a real Mexican restaurant in Vienna, like a Mexican woman, La Nona, like La Mexicana. Like
how is that? How do they end up migrating there?
That's the thing. They
Because we see here, we go to the Chinese restaurant, we see the Chinese family running it, but it's like, well, it's America. Everybody wants to come to America. So it makes sense to see people from other cultures come and do their thing here.
Well, you know what, though? A lot of people, I think, who was that? What was it called? Like, La Neta was the name of the... Yeah. You walk in and all of a sudden I hear,
fresh
Mexico
tortilla.
Lindo y querido, blasted on the radio.
Fresh corn tortillas.
The
in Europe, right?
Which is crazy. You don't get that shit over there. I had to have my friend who came to visit us. I'm like, bring tortillas, please. That was my thing. Bring tortillas. Anyways, long story short, the La Neta, a line all the way around the building. It was crazy. Wow. This was Stockholm, Sweden.
It's fresh.
Anyways, we did talk to those owners one time, and you know what it was? The healthcare.
Oh, okay.
Estamos enfermos. We need the healthcare. They migrated. They
were they super happy to find someone that did you talk to them in Spanish? Were they super happy?
Yeah.
Super happy to run into someone that knows
Spanish.
Hola,
¿cómo está? Claro.
Yeah,
I'm like, ¿sabes que no tienes cilantro aquí? It's parsley.
Let me tell you something though. It's something that cracks me up. No matter every country I go to, there's plenty of Latins.
Yeah,
Latins are everywhere,
all around
bro.
the world.
Yeah, because just to have the Spanish from Barcelona or from Madrid or Ecuador or it's Chile. Everybody especially in Stockholm.
We found Guatemalans. We found people in Guatemala in Stockholm. So can you believe that?
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, y bailando salsas,
They're like,
cumbias,
hey, me
everything.
too.
The communities are there, man, and they have their
Primo!
Yeah, it's so funny. That's what I'm saying. Same thing with me, finding other, African Americans walking around. Like, wow, okay, you're.
Or Americans. I almost
Yeah.
feel like it's really rare. That's the rare part.
Do you guys
is
stick
finding
out
an
like a
American.
sore thumb? Like, is it pretty obvious that you're American
No.
out there? They don't like no people aren't. Just,
No, not until they talk to us.
Okay.
Not until we try talking. Oh, you American. No, you want to know what gives it away? Honest to God truth. When you're at a restaurant and you ask for ice water. Oh, you American.
Nobody.
You American.
They don't do the ice
They don't
water.
believe in ice water.
I just want water.
Just regular water.
They don't do that. They don't serve you cold beers. There's no beers in a cooler anywhere.
Really?
You have to go to a certain place and buy your alcohol. It's like a government regulated building. In Sweden, it's called a Systembolaget. I'll never forget. And then
Systembolaget,
where do we go? Where do we go in Europe? To buy all our stuff in Germany. Anyway, certain spots.
Germany.
It's all like. But I'm telling you, it's like they don't know you until like you talk and like
Ice water. She's
you
correct.
American. The ice water is huge. That's like the
crazy.
biggest thing.
That's something you wouldn't even think about here. It's just so commonplace.
Oh yeah, no. They bring out their ice water.
If you go to a restaurant here and they give you a glass with just water with no ice in it, like,
Dude,
Yeah.
it's gonna
you
look
go
weird.
to-
Yeah.
You go to McDonald's, first of all, or Burger King.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you right now, I don't eat McDonald's or Burger King here at home. But in Europe,
It's real meat.
yeah. The only difference is...
No pink shit in
Yeah.
it or whatever.
On the French fries, it's only salt in the fries, not all the other chemicals that they put in it here. But the one thing that sorry about that. The one thing that cracks me up is that everybody loves McDonald's and Burger King. It's like
How American can you get? You can't get
the
more
two big
American than that.
institutions.
a Kentucky Fried Chicken, crushing it.
Yeah.
All three of those brands over there, they're smiling. Subway, sorry. There's
They
the
do
fourth.
Subway also?
Oh my goodness, there's a Subway.
They
everywhere.
do the same meats.
No, it tastes like
their
heaven.
meats. It's their.
It has to be regulated, right? Because every
it's
country has their
regulated.
own regulations. So
They're not letting that come across.
They're not letting that weird shit we're eating here.
no, you buy a bottle of ketchup and it says on there tomato paste, vinegar, salt, sugar. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
And the ketchup here has a long list.
Yeah, I mean, look
Go
what
on
they're
and on and
feeding.
on.
Just what they're feeding the cows or the chickens compared to
Yeah.
what we're feeding them.
Yeah, you go buy a chicken breast in Europe and it's this big,
It's
dude.
tiny,
Literally
tiny,
like
yeah.
2 inches. Here you buy them and they're full of soluble fluid up
Yeah.
to here.
I mean, that's even when we used to go to Mexico every year or so. Even just crossing the border, we were in Chihuahua once, and we were at we stayed at a hotel, and we ate at the restaurant there at the hotel. They're like medio pollo asado, half a chicken was the order, and we're like, what the hell? That's just for one person. They're like, yeah, but it's the chickens they raise there, so yeah, you eat a whole half a chicken, but it's this tiny little thing, but it's a million times.
Tasty.
Oh, what
tastier
did they
than
say about the
giant-ass
Coca-Cola
chickens
in
here.
Mexico compared to
Yeah.
the? Oh, isn't that the big thing? Everyone wants the Coca-Cola from Mexico because it's so damn good and pure. It's because Mexico holds higher standards of regulation on their food than even America does, and that's
And
crazy.
that's just right over there. Now, do you guys think it's true they're like KFC's raising the chickens, not whole chickens? They're just like creating chicken parts.
My man, I don't know what's going on here.
Or they
as
say
far
they
as-
don't-
Listen, as
They
far as
say
what
they're
they're
chickens
doing,
without heads. They just feed them through the neck. I would,
here's what I'm saying, Rodrigo. Here's what I'm saying.
You've never
man.
heard of
Never heard of this, and I'm gonna tell you what. This is why. When I come home, I don't eat none of that. You know what I mean?
when you
They're
come
genetically engineered chickens. They
white
don't
gives
have
everything.
heads and they don't have buttholes. They just grow the meat. Like they have to feed them that way. I don't know if it's just KFC. Like I think because you go to the
Chick-fil-A,
grocery store, you
man.
go to the Sam's Club, and they have this giant package of just drumsticks.
Oh.
It's like they only have 2 legs. Like where are they getting all
Where
these
they getting all
drumsticks?
those? Hey, dude, the food control in our country is on a whole different
So let's just grow in
bottom
drumsticks
level.
somewhere.
Yeah, man, dude.
No, the problem is they're just mass producing everything. They have to be
It's mass
real
produced.
things. I don't know. But then one time, but then you can't believe everything you read, dude. Come on, I don't know.
There's just fact.
Have a drink, salud, because I don't know. You're scaring me.
Right. That's the only thing I think happens, like worldwide is the drink, Mm-hmm. So we had a couple of my coaches. They were like, Coach, we really got to try Bud Light.
Oh, wow.
Here's a story.
So Darlene, I'm like, honey, they want some Bud Light. I got to take Bud Light back for the coaches, okay? Because, they've seen the commercials and they think it's cool and everything. Now, you got to understand, the beer they drink is probably at like 6 to 7% alcohol volume,
Delish.
right? And tasty, right? So here I come.
It's a meal in a bottle.
Here I come bringing,
watered down.
They were like, "What is this nonsense?"
I'll drink Bud Light if someone gives it to me, but I haven't popped.
But
Bud
here
Light
was the main thing they said.
This is before I was.
The main thing they said to me, Coach, how do you get drunk from this?
No, you don't.
I was like, oh my gosh, this is for your food. No, Coach, we see people buying big cases of this and they look drunk after drinking it. I said, it's just commercial.
Yeah, it takes a while.
I said, this is just a tasty beer. You know what I mean?
Now, and you've told me before that you don't really get hangovers in Europe?
No, they don't allow sulfates. Right. So like wines, like here in the US we use them as preservatives, right? Yeah. Sulfates. Nope. You can't have sulfates in Europe.
And that's what fucks you up with the hangover.
Yeah. It makes you feel sick as hell.
And shit.
Yeah, you wonder why you break out a whole bunch of like stuff on your face and stuff after drinking stuff here sometimes. You know what I mean? Like after having a drinking, I have the worst face for like...
And you get pretty faded in Europe and then not have a hangover?
Oh, dude, you get faded, yeah.
I don't know how they function, dude. I don't know how they function. Those people, they party till 4 a.m. and they get up and go to work at 8 o'clock and they happy.
No problem.
I'm like, oh my God. Who lives like this, honey? I don't...
Yeah. I just think like we talked about, it's if you want to just keep turning your cheek toward what you're eating and what you're drinking here in the... Like Darlene said, it's mass produced, or like you said, everything's mass produced, but we do have this standard where there's eco and so on, but look how much you got to pay.
Yeah. Okay, eco means organic, just so you know.
Yeah.
They call it eco there. Yeah.
For organic. Look how much you got to pay to stay healthy.
Yeah.
To eat healthy. I'm sorry. Right? So instead, there's a steak there. Looks good, man. Okay, cost me, $15, but here's this grass-fed deal,
$32.
Yeah. And the steak is not bigger than my hand, and you're like, something's not right here.
Yeah, which is on when we did our big 50th episode for Ep9, I was like, I gotta wear something like, gotta keep it a little punk rock. So I just took a Sharpie to my shirt and put on that shirt. And este país, los pobres somos gordos, which is in this country, the poor people are fat. Because I've always thought that. I'm like, why are we... Like, you go anywhere else, poor people are this skinny. But here, it's like, we look like we're living it up, but it's like we can't afford healthy stuff, so we all get big around the middle.
My grandpa just had his 100th birthday. Oh. The man eats tortillas every day, frijoles every day, farm. Everything is organic and clean.
That's why.
Y todavía se echa sus cervezas.
Yeah. And you always see those old people on the news, though, that's like they're 100 years old, and they're like, what do you do? Like, I smoke a cigar every day and drink whiskey every day. It's like, man, those people are crazy.
Pure whiskey.
Yeah.
100% non-dilute.
And a cohiba.
That's what I'm saying. It's like the good quality shit.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, they're not getting some Swisher sweet out of the...
No Swisher.
No, it's because they eat vegetables all day long.
Yeah.
No, man, it's just, and people just get blind to it because, you have to survive. You have to, you think you're nourishing your children properly. You think you're doing all that. And you're not, man. You're not. So I think these are some of the things that we got more aware of, that you would not be aware of because it's what we do here. It's normal.
It's just your normal.
That's our normal way, and of course there's so much information on the internet. You don't know what to believe, what not to believe. You talk to your doctor, he tells you one thing. You see something else, another doctor believes, oh no.
I Googled my symptoms, I'm dying tomorrow.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
And that's how it goes. And you can't trust news sources anymore. Each news source has its own agenda.
Everything's got agendas to it. This is where we're at. You know, so what we try to do is keep the main thing, man. You know,
the family, keep your happiness.
If you try to do that,
said.
that's just the best you can do.
You know,
I get a lot of information, man. You know, I do. I being a coach and also some entrepreneurial stuff that we work with brain wellness. You know, that we work with, and I talk to a lot of people. And at the end of the day, I go to Darlene, hey, we need to filter this shit and figure out what's the best thing for us, but and also the reality of what we're dealing with, and people get checked for everything except their brain.
Yeah.
Right. We check our heart, our lungs. Right. The ladies check their breasts. Men check everything else. But nobody.
And Oscar says that a lot.
brain.
Oscar says that a lot about mental health. He says your brain's a part of your body also. So why would you not take care of it the way you do with every other organ?
Roddy, I don't think we've ever talked about this. You ever talked about what we do with the brain health and why we feel like brain health is so important, and the technologies that are available for people who want to improve their health. We're talking so many things. It's too much to talk about now. We'll talk about it afterwards. This will be a whole other fucking podcast. I gotta tell you, it's too much. But it is important. Brain health is important. So important.
We get all these other things that people are talking about, but the brain is the
and that's your main thing, yeah.
Right, and
no brain, no person.
Hey, and especially for athletes, right? I think it's special. I want to say especially for athletes. I think it's for everybody.
It's for everyone.
But athletes, obviously,
we
deal with concussion.
I was going to say you're risking the head a lot more.
And regular people have concussion.
Oh,
also,
not just that though, honey. We're talking depression. We're talking anxiety, bipolar disease. We're talking mental health issues.
Yeah, definitely.
That's huge that no one talks about. But imagine having a form of treatment where you can get all of your, what do we call it, a marching band?
Yeah.
In line
all
in
your brain waves
Yeah.
in line. Yeah. I mean, it's just basically what we have been dealing with is we understand that, the brain is supposed to be structured a certain way. And when certain things happen to the brain, TBI, right? Trauma can be, doesn't have to be from contact.
No physical.
Right?
It can be emotional.
Right? Trauma
it can
be an emotional thing, right? Family thing or whatever, right? Or it could be anything that does that knocks the brain waves
to where they're not
exactly
aligned.
They're not aligned, right? So this is why people are not understanding, how important it is to make sure you get an EEG to look at your picture of your brain, because if you have that picture and something happens, then a neurologist knows what to do.
Yeah.
But if he gets something and it's already...
You need that comparing contrast,
exactly.
find the difference.
Small thing like that. Just a small thing like that to check it,
We have the technology for it, so why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just saying it's kind of deep after 2 shots of vodka and a couple beers. I mean, I love you so much, and you're turning me on so hardcore right now just listening to you talk. Doesn't my husband have the most sexiest voice on the face of the planet?
I'm getting a little
Jesus God Almighty. It's so funny. They posted a picture of him online the other day.
Denzel's money. Baby.
No, that's what they did. I have someone took a picture of Fred and they posted it on something because he was doing an NFL Academy Combine thing, whatever. And someone put on, "Oh, Denzel watched," and I'm like, "Ooh, I like you. Like your comment. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely."
And I was like, "Give me Denzel's money, and we're good."
What's that movie with that? Remember the Titans?
Absolutely. It's one of my
coach?
favorite movies
They
ever.
brought, what was his name? Coach Carr?
Yeah.
They brought the real Coach Carr to the middle school, and my brother was in middle school when he was like in 6th or 7th grade.
Wow.
But he came home all disappointed because he thought they meant they were bringing Denzel. They said we're bringing the coach from the Remember the Titans movie. So he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna meet Denzel Washington." He's like, "Yeah, I met some old black dude." He's like, I know, he's the real coach.
That's all good.
That's awesome as hell. I love it. I love it. That's the best ever.
But I don't know. It's crazy to think about that with the voice. It's a very black person voice, a very African American voice.
Is it really?
I think so. You know who my mom was wild about back in her day?
Barry White.
Barry White. She was a big Barry White fan.
Do you know how many people?
And Barry White's this big fat dude, you know.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
everybody, but the ladies love him.
His voice was crazy.
No, people tell me he sounds like who was the singer? Colonel Sanders? No, what's his name?
Morpheus.
No. He's a singer. He's a singer. There's Barry White. There's another black.
Oh, the
Sanders,
Shaft guy.
No, honey.
Is that the guy? The guy?
I don't know. Anyways,
chef from South Park.
I get what you call it. Obviously, I get the Denzel thing, which is like real cool.
Idris Elba.
Idris
Elba.
Idris Elba. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, that money would be good too.
Yeah.
You know, I could give a lot to charity if I could, make sure that these guys
Roddy,
are burning. These guys are burning.
Let me tell you something. I'll tell you a story. And I told this to my husband today while we were having some tea this afternoon. I said, I was sure I won the lottery this morning. I was sure of it. I woke up. I'm like, oh Lord God, thank you Jesus. I went into such a deep prayer, like specific and everything. I'm like, just hear me out, God. Just hear me out, okay? Just listen to me what I would do with my money if I won the lottery. Please, Lord, just listen to me. And I went A, B, C, D on all these things I would do if I won the lottery.
Like, or make the world a lot better.
Oh, you have no idea what I would do with all this money. I'm like, give all this stuff.
It's true.
I only matched 2 numbers.
Oh. What's that on Powerball or what?
I think it was a Powerball.
We were supposed to play tonight, Darlene.
I did. I have my ticket in there.
Oh, of course you did.
Have you ever won big, like on a scratch ticket or anything?
When I was 18 years old is the last time I won big on a scratch ticket. I won like $32 and that was about it.
Dude, I have a stepmother who has won like a slot machine for like $250,000. And then another slot, it was like $380.
Yeah.
When does that happen where you hit 2 slots in your lifetime? Yeah. Right? 2.
Was she a big player too, though? Because that's the thing. I know people.
Viene de dinero, güey.
I've done I know people that have come home with like thousands of dollars from the casino, but they're there every weekend. So it's like, how much have you?
Ella es una de ellas. Okay. Y te lo digo en español porque yo sé que va a escuchar esto y va a decir otra cosa. Esta mujer tiene un chingo de dinero, güey. Un chingo.
Yep.
Con eso te digo todo. Ya estuvo.
Big money.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. I'll cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Can we talk about that for a second? Can we just say something that Papa's wife, stepmom, whatever, Mama, I don't know what we call her. Mm-hmm. She is a great person though. Mm. She's very good to our children and to us, and I gotta tell you that means a lot.
You know what? We were at. I took my daughters to Blast Off, I think it was. Mm-hmm. Or it was either that or Leo's place, and we saw this skinny little black girl. Mm-hmm. And both me and Eileen thought it was your guys' daughter. We're like, hey, I think that's your friend. And she went and looked for her, and it wasn't her.
And why didn't you call us?
Because it wasn't her.
It doesn't matter. When you come to Idaho Falls, you call me.
We're here all the time.
Right, like, hey,
she asks me all the time. Vita always asks me.
Really? We need to work on that communication both ways. Because she calls her
Lean. Oh, I've invited you.
No, well, I mean like
I invite
on
you
the random, like, hey, what are you doing right now?
Nothing. I am home with my daughter.
Yeah, we need to work on that because my daughter liked your daughter a lot too. Just from like the one time
didn't they play so good together? Yeah. I have to tell you, they were really great. No, you need to let Eileen go a mi casa también para que juegue.
Yeah,
because that's one thing we do, and we're really good. Well, okay, let's keep it real. This man, he's patient. He is so great with kids. He is the absolute best person with children.
Are you not?
She's awesome with children.
I am awesome with children. Let's keep it real. No. I am. But
awesome. Patience is different.
Patience is different than
there's things
being awesome.
That my patience, that's fine. But the things that she does with our kids is amazing, man. So no. I'm just the buffer when things get a little,
Yeah, I think I think that's a good balance, though.
It is. I mean, I'm a little bit old school like that, where, I believe Mama is, running that deal, and I don't think you get it any better than that. Mm-hmm. I know I didn't.
No, and let's keep it real. Our lifestyle is not for everybody. I don't think a lot of marriages would be successful.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. How's that? Because you're talking about how he's turning you on and shit right now. So I'm like, how is that like being separated from each other? Like a
Thank
whole
God
ocean's
for
away.
FaceTime and
Thank goodness for FaceTime and all that. But no, I think I think we compare it. I don't want to compare it to that because I think that's a higher service. But our military and what they do, right? You know what I mean? They're away from their families. Their environment is definitely a lot different than my environment. You know, it's just something where when we first met, she knew that that was my home for like 25 years. You know.
Yeah.
My pension is there. It's more there than it is here in the U.S. Yeah. So I think the hardest thing was getting used to it in the beginning. And I don't think we ever get comfortable with it.
Like it still sucks. But.
It sucks, but at the end of the day, we understand what we're doing and what we're doing it for. And it's less arguing time also. So when you see each other, you
have to. Yeah, you don't want to. It's a limited time, so you don't want to spend it fighting. Right?
Don't want to spend it like that. That's for sure. But it makes you grow too. I think in your relationship. I mean, it depends on what you want. I think the thing with me and Darlene, we kind of knew when we met each other what we wanted.
And you guys were like, it's not like you were super young when you met. And you guys have a big age difference. I asked you about the age difference.
Yes.
17 years?
Because I asked her, I was like, hey, is Fred a lot older? And she's like 17. I was like, I thought so. I was like, because I'm talking to this chick who's significantly younger than me. And she says, well, I think it's fine as long as she's not like 21 or 22. And I was like, no, she's 23. Come on. And of course, it didn't work out. Yeah.
No, but remember, like I was in my 30s.
But I was going to say that, and I think that's the difference.
That is different.
Yeah, a woman or anybody, a person at early 20s is very different from a person at in their 30s. Yeah.
But besides that, though, I will say this. This is also another huge thing. This is a sacrifice for real. Like I have to realize that, and this is just real, honey. And I'm not trying to put you on blast. Fred's at the end years of his career. Do you get what I'm saying? My husband's 60 years old. Like, how selfish would it be of me knowing that I'm in my 40s, okay, not letting him finish out his career strong?
Yeah.
Like, that wouldn't be right. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I do feel like I see that in him, and I see how passionate he is and how good he is at his job. You didn't bring your championship ring. I thought you were going to bring it to show it off. He's not like that. See, he's not like that.
That's humble. That's the best champions are.
That's what I'm saying. He's not like that at all. But what I'm saying to you is that like there is a big give and take. Like it's huge, and there's lonely nights, and it gets hard. I mean, I work, I take care of kids, I have a house to maintain, I take care of my husband, I do all the housely duties. My husband is very domesticated, but at the end of the day, it is mostly me. But I see the bigger picture. I do, and it makes all the difference. He supports me in my hobbies. I have another show coming up in March, He supports me with that. So I just feel like we have a really good give and take when it comes to us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm old school with that. I'm the provider, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Make sure everything is cool.
And I think neither of you are like, I mean, you know each other enough to where you're not like jealous. No jealous.
Oh, no, that wasn't always the way.
Were you jealous?
Me.
It was you.
This man's never been that way. But me coming from my insecurities and from my just always, I wasn't treated well when I was younger. I didn't, and I didn't know what that meant to be treated with respect. So when he would come at me with respectfulness, I was like, oh, what are you trying to hide? Like, that's just the truth. So I remember driving up to his school, to the high school, thinking he was cheating on me when we were dating. From Roberts, mind you. And let me tell you what I did.
That toxic,
you want to hear something crazy? This is a true story. I drove to the high school because I thought Fred was cheating on me. I touched the hood of his car
to see if it was hot
or not. I don't think you ever knew this, honey.
Oh wow, confession time.
And I went into and you know what? He doesn't work there anymore, so I know he's not going to get fired from there. But I showed up in a trench coat with nothing but panties on.
Oh wow.
Cuz I was like, "Listen. And we had a good time, didn't we, baby, after that?
At the school?
It wasn't on school premises. We made sure we left the we made sure we left school premises. But you know what? But no. But that just goes to show, and I'm okay now in my life to admit that I was super insecure in myself, very insecure. So I for some reason I thought that I wasn't good enough for him. Seriously, like, I saw the emails he was getting from people. There was people in this town who wanted him. There was, you know what I'm saying? And the fact that he chose me, and he chose me, mind you, I shrugged him off. I blew him off.
Oh, really?
I blew him off. I was like, who is this creep guy? I never knew what it was like to be treated kind. I was always in very toxic relationships, so that's all I knew. And he came at me with much respect. Very respectful.
Have you ever been a jealous dude though, like
sure,
or like in previous relationships?
Oh, I tell you what, man. I think what happens is you go through that as a dude. You go through that a little bit, and then you get to the point where you're like, screw that. It's not worth dealing with if it's going to be on that level. Because I think it's something you go through. Yeah. You know what I mean? As a guy,
how I feel about it. It's like more than likely I'm not correct about her. She's probably being faithful, and if I'm not, that's on fucking her. So why am I gonna?
You know, the one thing that you learn and you find out, man, you do the best you can in what you have, and you just hope that the respect the other person has for you, that it stays that way.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't, and when that happens, then the change happens, right? So it's the only way you're going to be able to grow together if you open that window up. If you close that window, you're not going to grow together at all, So as far as us, our relationship that way, we have grown a lot, and it hasn't been easy. It's difficult, but what we've done is, at the end of the day, look at the alternatives that you have.
Yeah.
There could be some good ones. Fine. Go for them. What happens when you go for them and then they're their temporary thing? And I think that's the problem we're having in society with everything.
Everybody's just temping.
Everything's temping, right? Oh, I need a like. Oh, I got a like. Everybody's about their likes and temporary dopamine.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We've worked hard 12 years to balance what we have.
To be where you're at now.
Yeah, man, So, and we know that there's a lot of people not as lucky as us.
That's what we always say.
It's not about the money. It's not about, where we travel, where we live, our lifestyle. Again, it's about what we do in our family that we have to take care of that makes us who we are.
Yeah.
And it's hard to find, man. Seriously, it's hard to find a good woman. And I'm not blasting any ladies out there, I just know it from my experience, and depends on the standard you want.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, my standards are high, and Darlene was the perfect fit for where I was going in my life. And then you don't know how it goes as you do, right? So, as we've gone on, we've stayed with the thing we've always talked about. Just you keep the main thing, man, and take care of each other and your family. That's when you know what you have, People can disagree to agree, It's so funny how people can get together, they loved each other, and then it becomes toxic, and then people are messing with the kids or messing with this and that instead of forgetting the most important thing is what you accomplish together, and be able to walk away from it. But people can't do that. They got to hang on to shit and make it worse. And then if there's kids involved or other things involved, then the kids get affected.
Those are the casualties of all that.
I've been through that.
Yeah.
I did that. You know what I mean? I did that, man. I did that. The kids are the casualties.
Yeah.
I had that in a previous, relationship before Darlene, where, shit, man, the kids were the most important thing. And when you start messing with somebody's kids, there's two sides to each story with that.
Yeah.
Because both of you have the kids. And I had to deal with that. And Darlene helped me a lot with that. She was really good with helping me to balance that. My kids, I have two from Swedish mother. So trying to balance all that and then balancing a new relationship and
then a new kid.
Trying to introduce the kids to her, and they have their mom and all those type of things. It was rough, but at the end of the day, all I can do is be real with them.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with. I just finalized our divorce finally a few months ago, and so it's really rough. And that's what I always tell my oldest daughter. I have a lot of real frank conversations with her. She's about to turn 8.
Yeah.
And I've had people tell me like, "Are you sure you should be talking about that stuff?" I'm like, she lived all of it with me. I'm like, she's more mature than she should be, so we can have these conversations.
Correct.
And I straight up told her, I was like, honestly, I'm not telling you I'm never gonna have more kids, but I don't want to, and I doubt that I will. I was like, but I'm a lot older than your mom. I was like, you're eventually gonna have these brothers or sisters that your mom's going to have in another relationship.
Absolutely.
And she's like, no, I don't want to. I'm not going to love them. And I'm like, no, you're going to love them. They're going to be your brothers. They're going to be your sisters. I'm like, it's just a thing that's going to happen.
You have to just the kids. The kids are the most important thing.
Yeah.
And what I have found out with my children, because the ones I had in Sweden, one is 26 now, the other's 21. They now understand a lot of what really did happen.
Yeah.
Right? And now they come to you and they go, wow,
yeah.
What a stand-up father you are. You know what I mean? Like, whoa, we thought
time prevails. If you're doing things right, the time
prevails. So you have to endure that, which is one of the hardest things to do. It's not to smack back or to jump at it. It's one of the hardest things to do, but at the same time, again, it's all about the relationship with the kids.
Yeah.
And if they trust that, they're going to trust everything else that you do. Yeah. And that's what I learned from it, man. So I wish you well with that
Thanks, situation. Man. Yeah, it's been a rough year, and we're reaching the end of this year, so hopefully next year's a little better.
Hey, one day at a time, and as long as you're true to them and who you are, it works out.
That's exactly what it is. And when people ask me about that, like, you should be having these conversations with your 7-year-old. I'm like, I should. I'm like, she needs to know who I am. And in this last year that she's been able to be at the house out in Roberts and meeting people that I know from the neighborhood and stuff, she just knows so much more about me.
It's important.
And it was a violence thing where her mom would always beat on me. And she's heard, by now, she's heard stories of, the old days, the fights and all this stuff. And she's like, why didn't you ever hit her back? Like, she's like, obviously you're who you are. She's pretty much saying like, I hear all these wild stories about you. And I straight up told her, I was like, because I'm like, it would have been easy, but I wouldn't have you here with me right now. Yeah, they would have taken you away from me a long time ago.
Easily, 1, 2, 3, know that. And I think the thing is too, that what kids see, they remember.
Mm-hmm.
Do not think what they see, they don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay. And I learned that a little bit the hard way with my first thing I dealt with. But then I understood that some of these things, they're not for them. There's some things that she should know, like you're speaking to her about. You're being frank and transparent about. Yeah. There's other things that are straight up adult things.
Yeah, for sure.
And
there's stuff that she doesn't know yet. Maybe she might know later.
That's okay.
There's some stuff that she probably will never know. But
right. Yeah, that's a tough one, man.
But the way I look at it is she now knows who I am on multiple levels. She knows her dad's like this old badass, but she also knows that I'm a hardworking man. She knows I'm going to take care of her and her sister. So
that's that's the most important thing, And like I said, from there you can't lose, man.
Yeah.
You just can't lose from there. You lose if you go the other way.
Yeah. And sometimes it's tempting to go that way.
No doubt.
For sure.
No doubt. Who wants to keep getting, stepped on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no doubt about it.
There was one time when I grabbed her wrist just so she wouldn't be able to strike me, and then the next day she had bruises on her wrist. I was scared shitless. I was like, she's gonna go to the cops with these bruised up wrists. I'm gonna get fucked. But
I think the hardest thing to deal with when those situations occur was this is somebody that you loved.
Yeah.
This was somebody that you cared about.
That we cared enough about each other to try to make a life.
And then it just, it flips to a whole nother situation. Like you wonder, was I in a time warp?
Yeah.
Like, who was this? You know what I mean? there's no doubt about it. You know, so
It's awesome to see someone like yourself, just someone that can have success in multiple avenues, and this after a failure in a marriage. So it gives people like me hope. Honestly, it's like, well, shit.
Well, you gotta you'll do fine, and you're gonna get you one of these.
Yeah, there we go.
Here, you know, I've been lucky with that. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, that's just how it is. But you have to move forward, but you got to stay true to who you are.
You're lucky with her, because back in the day, she was like the only hot girl in our neighborhood.
That's what I heard, man.
Now there's plenty, but like back then there was like one.
Now the neighborhood's flooded. Wow. Yeah, that's funny.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. Well, good luck with that, man. Stay
Thanks,
positive.
We'll do it. And speaking of positivity, this is a really negative way of ending the show. I've been ending this Roddy Radio series with a question, because when you got married, either time, did you have groomsmen?
Okay, so I was only married once, and that was to her.
Oh wow! Oh, the other women you never got married.
No, it was what they call in Sweden kind of common law.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right, but never like
Like
married.
an official, like went up to courthouse or church.
Not until I got married to Darlene. So, and I did have a best man.
Nice.
And I did have a the matter of fact, the preacher was one of my coaches.
Oh, cool.
So he was a bishop, So it was really nice.
Made it a little bit
it was
more
hard.
special.
My family wasn't able to be there.
Oh.
I did get some flack. Let's get real.
Yeah.
You got married, and you didn't tell us that we were. I was like, I told you, but it's like in Idaho, you people are living in Sweden and in New Jersey.
No, it was weird. No, look. You know what? I can keep it real in hindsight.
But it was me.
It when in hindsight, it was not done proper. But
that was before the Zoom days. My brother just got married a few weeks ago in Philadelphia, so we just watched it over Zoom.
Okay, no, but see, here's the thing, though.
Not Philadelphia, Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
PA.
I don't know what happened with us. I think that we were so consumed and overwhelmed with each other that we couldn't wait, and we didn't wait. And
that's romantic in itself.
No, but it hurt. No.
Yo.
But we did it. Hey.
You think it was a little hasty?
No,
is what
stop.
you're saying.
No. We hurt the people we loved by doing that.
Yeah.
And for that we have apologized, and it was wrong. But we did premarital counseling before we were married. So on our last session, when the pastor who was going to marry us was like, well, when do you guys want to get married? And this man looked and said, how about next Tuesday? We mean, how about next Tuesday?
He pulled out his phone and looked at his
What do you
agenda.
mean next Tuesday? Well, you know what? We have Bible study next Tuesday. Okay, well, how about after Bible study? What?
I guess we could.
9 o'clock at night.
Amen.
9 o'clock at night.
awesome.
And I find myself as a very, very unselfish person. That time,
You're so.
I was all about.
Sometimes you gotta be selfish.
It was really weird for me to be in that space.
You gotta treat yourself.
Because I did. I called. Hey, here's what's gonna happen. Okay, I'm doing this. It's next Tuesday. I don't expect anybody to be here, but I'm not waiting.
Yeah.
And I got like a bunch of flack for it. Like Darlene said. Well, you maybe should have thought to. It's like, no. For the first time, probably in a long time, yes, I did. And I didn't want to feel, because it was important to me. I'm very happy in what I'm about to do.
I think a lot of times weddings, that's what it is. It's two people, so why not just be the two people?
Right. And with big wedding and all, that's like, yo, why am I going to spend, me and her laughed about it, why are we going to spend $10,000 that way when me and her are going to take $10,000 and go spend
go
it
do
another
something
way?
else. Yeah.
So we were laughing, right? Like, hey, it's just the truth. I'm telling the truth. You know what I mean? But it was just, it was a little tough afterwards. Okay, I got a little backlash from it, but
you have to kind of, like you said, apologize.
That I didn't do. But at the
yeah.
end of the day,
you did the apology.
Yeah, I ain't. No, she don't apologize either.
He wouldn't let me.
No, we don't do that. We just don't do that.
He wouldn't let me.
No, we don't do that. But
well, there's nothing to apologize
decision.
for. I'm with him on this one. It's like,
yeah, man. It was just. It was like I said. I feel like I give and give, and my family knows that. But this one was one for me that I made that decision. I was so happy. Tuesday, I can marry this woman. I need to marry this woman on Tuesday.
If that's
Set
the
it
earliest
up.
day we can.
Let's
do
go.
it. Yeah,
That's it.
that's awesome. That's freaking beautiful. So you had bridesmaids?
No,
Did you have bridesmaids on your
none.
first? No, man.
Oh,
that's
my
not-
first marriage, yes.
Did you?
Un chingo de bridesmaids
Really?
and groomsmen and all sorts
It was
of
a
stuff.
big thing, huh?
My first.
See, what
my
good did
first
that
wedding,
do you?
That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
To get abused and beat on your wedding night.
Fuck.
Do you know what I'm saying? Not to say nothing, but this is the truth.
Yeah.
Like, I had a huge wedding. It was humongous. I had everything. Everything was traditional. Everything was the way it was supposed to be. And from the moment I said I do, it was nothing but abuse. And it was hard and it hurt.
I can't imagine that, especially after such a special moment and such a picture-perfect moment.
And it was picture perfect. That's the thing. The
And
pictures look amazing.
pictures are easy to perfect, though.
There you go.
That's what happened when me and my ex-wife split up. Everybody says, "Hey, you guys look so happy in your pictures."
Me?
And I'm like, yeah, you were one of them. And I was like, yeah, those we're very photogenic people. That's about all I can say.
And then what happened? I called him my categorical. And you're like, the fuck? Was like, what? I told him, I said, let's go get a drink, bro. And you're like, I gotta work or something. And I'm like, dude, like, I am so sorry. Like, no one saw that coming.
No one did, and we talked about it extensively. The whole second season of Alta Red podcast was the divorce, and we were all like, we were getting hype, and we were getting people like, Daniel Corro with Blanco Perfecto were like, yeah, we'll play, man. Let's have a divorce party. We'll play. We had a cater. We had drinks. And I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like partying because I've lost. Like, we all just assumed that I was going to, like, get the upper hand on that. Or at least even, like...
Yes,
and I completely got
absolutely.
fucked over. And it's like, well, I
You know
don't feel
what?
like partying anymore.
At the end of the day, man, you didn't because you got the children.
I still have.
And you know what? And that's the thing that everybody forgets in those instances. What we get the problem of is that we're just upset that it was that person who did that to me where I just didn't see that. Like, you're supposed to see that.
Yeah.
That's like...
And that's the thing is, you do see it sometimes, but you just kind of fucking ignore it, I guess.
Yeah. And see, right. And maybe that's what happened was you did get that signal and you didn't... fuck it, it's okay. It'll pass. You know what I mean? And, yeah, then you get in that thing and you're like, damn. Same thing.
No, the thing is, that the outcome was not fair. If we can keep it real.
Listen, I'm sure you guys got to understand something.
Uh-huh.
In this country, when it comes to children and women, they're going to get the children.
Not even in this country. Not even in this country. In any country.
9 out, any country. Yeah, I should
well,
know that too.
yeah.
Right, 9 out of 10. That's what's going to happen.
Even the Swedes.
That's what's going to happen. Okay, so again, it's just one of those learning experiences you go through, man, and you know what you can't let it do. Which for me, I was able to avoid a little bit was you just can't let it stop you from the next person.
Yeah.
Because that might be the right person.
Yeah.
It could have stopped me from being with her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to kind of...
The way I'm playing that, it's like, now I know, like, as soon as the nonsense starts, I'll just leave it at that. But definitely open to shit. But I'm also not looking. But
that's the best thing.
But I've also, like, been talking to 2 different chicks over the last year, and, like, it didn't work out, and that's fine. We're fine. We're doing great.
That's all right. Because... Listen, you gotta get the Rolodex going.
Yeah.
You gotta get moving. Okay, you gotta get up to like 10 in that Rolodex.
We said
to find the one.
I'm glad that you said Rolodex.
That's what I was gonna say. And on that, we end it because that's beautiful.
On that,
the Rolodex.
On that red, when who was? It might have been. I think the sample's on this right now. This girl, who's only 20 years old. When she became part of the show, I was like, so you're down to come to the show more often? She's like, yeah. I was like, all right, I'll put your phone number on into the Rolodex then. And she was just looked at me like, what the fuck does that mean? what does that mean? I was like,
We old as fuck.
I'm like, I'll just call you. Like, when I need you on the show, I'll let you know.
I said Rolodex. I should say, hey, you just go ahead and put it
I'll
in
put
your
you in
phone.
my contacts.
You know, yeah, with, okay.
No, I love the
That's where I'm
Rolodex.
at.
But I was like, I'll put you in the Rolodex.
Because you
Rolodex.
need a woman that understands Rolodex.
The Rolodex is gangster.
Cheers, San
You
Luis.
still got the Rolodex. But the way I'm ending the show, I was asking about groomsmen and bridesmaids. I've been asking the guests to end the show. The last question is, it's something we can't choose, but I'm going to make you choose anyway. Pallbearers. Who wants to go first? Who are you choosing for your pallbearers?
Well, that's easy for me. Can I go first?
You can go first.
Because I'm not going to be buried. I'm going to be cremated.
Oh, everyone says that. I said that too. But it's a fun question.
No, but it's the truth. So if I can think of someone who's going to hold my ashes,
Okay.
my children. That's it. My children. Because friends come and go. Friends, you can make an impact, and some friends are there for a lifetime or whatever. But my children are all of me, the best of me, everything in me. My kids. Yeah. Those are my kids. That's it.
They live on, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, my two sons and my best friend, Tyrone Robinson.
There you go.
T-Bone.
T-Bone, his name's T-Bone.
They'll and my brother, of course, those four.
There you go. Easy, simple answers today, which is good. I love it. That's all. It's just one of those morbid questions. I have to throw in that dark humor a lot of times.
It was dark.
Perfect. I don't think so, but I know you, bro. So we on the same level. It's all good.
I mean, I'd be straight up. It was straight up dark. After, I would have preferred that in the middle of the show. Okay, I'm just gonna put it out there.
We break all the rules on any reality TV production.
It's been a pleasure, man. It was great.
It's fine. It was awesome to finally meet you after so many times. Man. I mean, I've known Darlene even before we did. The thing is that I knew who she was when I was a kid because she went to school with my brothers. Then when I was in my 20s and we were going to the bars a lot, we were partying a lot, and then I kind of lost touch. The next thing I know, she's like married and has this new baby and everything. Like doing really great for each other, and we've reconnected. Really, definitely awesome friendship. So I'm glad we're all here, and I'm glad I finally met you.
Yes.
But I think that's it for today. Thank you guys for coming, and that was Rowdy Radio episode 9.